Today's video is just going to be a tutorial here. I'm going to catch a movie with my family later on today, as well as get dinner with them. So I'm just going to get ready. This isn't going to be like a chit chat, get ready with me, because I need to really hurry up. I got to leave in like 45 minutes or so. So I'm just going to sit down, watch some TV, and let's just jump into this video.
So starting off this look, I'm going to prep my eyelids with the Morphe Concealer. And I'm just going to dabble a few little pieces of concealer on the lid. And then we're going to go ahead and blend that out just a moment here with a brush. And I really have been enjoying using concealer as always. I haven't really tried a eye primer just yet, but I do have my eye on one that I am wanting to try. So hopefully I get my hands on one of those really quickly and we'll be able to actually have an eye primer we can try out. But I'm just going to blend it and set it with some powder. Jumping into the Friendication palette with Dose of Colors and Katie and Desi, I'm going to pick up this shade called The Necessary and begin to blend this into the transition shade. I absolutely love this color in the transition shade. It's a perfect transition color for any type of look that you're going to do. If you're going to do more smoky, more natural, if you're going to do a very colorful or not colorful, very neutral, it is a perfect transition shade. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit at a time as always and start to blend this shade into the transition area. Going from outer corner to inner corner, just going back and forth in little circular motions and making sure everything is nice and evenly covered. Next, I'm going to jump into the MAR palette by Colourpop and pick up this beautiful coral blue. And I'm going to put this on a fluffy brush, but a little bit more dense fluffy brush, and begin to feather this in the outer corner of the eye. Usually I try to go in with a color into my crease, but I decided to do something a little bit different today. So I'm going to work this color onto the outer corners of my eye. Again, because this is a blue, I'm just taking a little bit at a time and working it slowly into the designated area that I am wanting to place this color. It's better to start off little with colorful pigments than it is to pack on a whole lot and try to blend it out. You'll be there for a very long time, hopefully blending it out. So just start off really slowly and work this color into the outer corner. I'm going to jump into the Magic by Juvias palette, pick up this beautiful blue shade, and we're going to begin to work this color into the crease. Because I am putting this color into the crease, I am wanting to lighten it up a little bit because I am going in with a more colorful, lightened blue for the lid today. So I wanted the crease not to be as deepened and as dark or as pigmented as I want it to be. So I'm just taking this color and blending it into the crease with a fluffy Morphe brush, with going back and forth windshield wiper motions. With this color, because it is very light, I do pack on a lot on the brush and then work it into the crease. Because it's a shimmer glittery color, I just take a lot more on the brush than I would a matte pigment color. So just keep that in mind. But I'm just continuing to work this into the crease until I get the pigment. Now, with the lid, I'm going to use the Colourpop X Kathleen Lights Zodiac Loose Pigment, and this is in the shade The Crab. And when I tell you I was so excited to use this color, excited's not even the right word. This blue is electric. It's like a periwinkle almost kind of blue. I mix it in with some of my Milani Make It Last setting spray just to make it a little bit more loose and not so powdery and easier for me to pack on. This blue color is really just freaking amazing. It is so beautiful and such a nice color. But I'm just packing that onto the lid and then working it into the crease. Next, jumping back into the MAR palette and picking up that blue shade, we're going to begin to blend the lid shade and that outer blue shade. So I'm just going in circular motions here, packing it on, making sure the loose pigment and the matte shade blend really nicely together. Just going little by little, circular motions, stamping the color within that crease to blend it out. And then I will begin to just work it into the crease just a little bit, not a lot. Really focusing this color on the outer portion of the eye. Don't want to take it too far in, but definitely want to build it up in the outer corner to make it a little bit more depth and a little bit more bold. So just begin to work that into the outer crease. Again, circular motions until everything is nice and blended and even. Then going back into the Magic Palette by Juvias, I'm going to pick up that blue shade again, and we're going to work this into the crease to blend everything in the crease together. So again, with this, I do take a little bit more than I would a matte shade, and I begin to blend this into the crease to make sure the crease is nice and blended and looking effortlessly in the area. That way we don't have any harsh lines and everything is just nice and smooth, and you can get rid of those harsh lines. Just lightly go over it and everything will be nice and blended. Jumping into the rest of the face, I'm taking the Milk Grip Hydro Grip Primer. I've been loving this primer, and I don't think I'm going to find another primer like this. It's just so hydrating. It smells freaking amazing, and it makes my foundation and my makeup last really, really long. I've actually been loving it. What I do is I put it on basically my T-zone area and then start to work it to the rest of my face, let it sit for a little while, and then go in with my foundation. For today, we're going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Foundation. I'm going to start by putting a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to be taking a brush, a flat brush, and begin to paint it onto the face. I have actually really been liking this technique instead of going in with the Beauty Blender, because I feel like I get a lot more product that's actually on my face than I do that's used up by the beauty sponge. So I just like to paint this onto my face with just some little lines here, like I'm painting a Picasso masterpiece, and then I will go in with my damp beauty sponge and begin to blend that in. I, again, have been really liking this because I feel like it gives me a much more flawless finish by spreading out the foundation with a brush and then going over that with the beauty sponge. I do like to still wet my beauty sponge with a little bit of Milani Make It Last setting spray, just to make it a little bit more damp, I guess, but I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out, and then we are going to jump to concealer. For concealer today, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. Going to start by putting this underneath my eyes and then drag it down a little bit to get a nice blend on the cheeks, and then we're going to put some in the underneath the chin and the forehead, and again we're going to blend this out with our beauty sponge. What I like to do here for my under eyes is start down at the bottom and then blend that out. The closer I get to my under eyes, I look up, that way we can get right up in there and nice and even, and then continuously looking up so that you don't get any creases once you blend close to your under eye. We definitely don't want to have any creases there, especially when we set it, but with the blending part, it is my advice to look up while you're blending the concealer. To set the face, I'm going in with my Covergirl loose setting powder. I know, I need to get more loose powder, but honestly, Covergirl has not did me wrong, and it's my favorite. I just need to branch out a little bit more in this area, and I promise I will. But this is my go-to. I've been loving it since the first one when I tried it. It does have like an old lady smell or old nana smell, but that's okay. So for the face, I'm going in with my damp beauty sponge, and then I'm just going to lightly press the powder into my face. When it comes to my under eyes, again, I do look up so we can set those creases and making sure my creases don't set if I didn't put any powder under there. So just remember, look up while you're setting it, that way you won't get any crease lines and you'll be set to go. For bronzer today, I'm going in with the Morphe bronzer. It's the two-tone, has a bronzer and contour in it. And I'm just taking this on a big Morphe brush and just putting some color back into the face by adding some on my forehead, and then I'll go into my cheek area and just making sure everything is nice and blended on the face, and we look a little bit more alive with some color added to give us a little bit more dimension. Dust some off in the back of my hand, and then this is where I go in lightly to blend out the sides of my face to make everything more dimensional. I'm going to set it here really quickly with some Milani, or this is the NYX actually, NYX setting spray, because we have added a lot of powder onto the face. Going to let that set in for a while, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the face. For blush, I'm going to go in with the Milani Blush, and the name will of course be down below in the description bar. But so far I have been liking blush. I really only use it when I am filming videos. I haven't really been using it in my day-to-day life, like when I go to work and have other plans. But so far, so good. I just need to branch out in this area and become more comfortable with it. For highlight today, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Liquid Highlighter, and I believe this is in the shade Champagne. I like to put some on my beauty blender and begin to blend that out onto my highlight areas. This is a beautiful, beautiful color, and I just like to lay it down first before I go over it with some more highlight. But applying it onto the beauty sponge first, I think gives it a more even, consistent look than doing it with my finger. So I really like putting just a little bit on the tip of the beauty sponge and then blending it out to the efficiency I want it to be blended out to. And then I'm just going to go over it with the, I believe this is On The Cusp highlight by Colourpop and Kathleen Lights from her Zodiac collection. And this I like to put with just a Morphe brush. I just put some on my brush here, and then we'll go ahead and just lightly go over the areas that we put the liquid highlight. I just think those two shades complement each other really, really nice, and everything just worked perfectly and blended out nicely. Next, jumping back into the Friendcation palette, we're going to take the necessary shade and begin to blend this in the lower lash line. I'm taking a more precise blending brush just to apply this color, and then we'll go in with some deeper colors here on the lower lash line. I'm going to pick up that blue shade, and I'm putting this on a flat e.l.f. brush to really get this blue color tight to the lash line as possible. With dark colors, it's the same thing as basically what we did to the lid. We have a nice transition shade, and then we'll go in and pack on a beautiful color. But you want to make this as close to the lash line as possible. That way it's easier to blend out when you're blending more colors, and it gives you a nice deep look. Again, back in with the necessary color, and we're just going to blend those two shades together even more. But having that first necessary shade down helps it blend out a lot better, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm just rambling on during this video. But for eyeliner today, I'm going in with the Morphe, I believe this is in the shade Pool Party or Pool something, but again, it will be down below. And we're just going to add this to our waterline. And I really, really love these Morphe eyeliners. I feel like they last on me pretty much all day, and I don't really have to touch up my liner. After lining my lips, I'm going to go in with the Colourpop Ariel from their Disney Princess collection and just apply this all over the lips. For liner, I did use the NYX London as always, but this Ariel shade is out. Next, I'm going to top it with a Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lip, and this is in the shade PS. I have been loving adding a glossy lip to a matte lip. It just looks bomb.
Alright guys, that is it for today's look. Y'all hear me talk about it 1,000 times, and here's 1,000 times and one more. These Colourpop loose pigment shades, I'm going to make a video using all of them, so just be prepared. If you don't like this and you're kind of over the lid shade, well, I'm so sorry, because I really want to try them out. I bought them for goodness sake, so I'm definitely going to try them out, and if I like the way it looks out, the look turned out, then I'm definitely going to post it. So today's color choice was the Crab, this beautiful periwinkle color here, and I mean, you guys saw my first reaction when I put this on my lid, like, bitch. What? This looks so stinking cute and just so beautiful, like a very light periwinkle blue, which is just amazing. And I like the way I added the dark blue on the outer corners. At first, I didn't really know how I felt about it. I was originally going to start over because I really didn't know if I would like this look. But the more I look at it, the more I like it. It's definitely something that I haven't done on my channel here, with a dark blue outer corners of the eyes and then a light, you know, little thing going on here. So I liked it, and I hope you guys do too. But with that being said, guys, I really hope you all enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.